All right, welcome to our extended interview with All Black Hockey Sticks and Just Hockey Jerseys founder Larry O. Larry, a lot of things people don't know about you that I want to share. One is you have a very, very, very full-time job. You're very well established in your industry. We don't need to talk about what that is. It's a respectable industry, obviously. You're also a hell of an athlete. So tell me about the moment you decided to move forward with ABHS. Again, we talked about this in the shorter episode that it was like a dare. But it's not just, okay, I dare you and you do it. There had to be that spark or that moment of, you know what, I am going to do this and I am going to get serious about it. Tell me about that second, that moment.
So I'll briefly do the beginning and then that one as well. So there's two stories. Scott Howard, I mentioned in the last interview, 6'5", 6'6". You know me well compared to others in this. I may show better on the video, but I'm about 5'6". So Scott looked at me and said, do something about the hockey sticks or shut up. And I couldn't take him to the parking lot because he's got me by a good foot and 100
a little
pounds.
bit, yeah.
So I went out and tasked myself with finding the production facility and all and got it rolling. Once we got the sticks in and I looked at Scott and went, ha, with the box of sticks that we produced is going forward. About 2 months later, after the players started rumbling and mumbling about the sticks and the quality they were, and they're happy with them, the accountant came up to us. I'll leave him as the accountant.
The accountant.
Said, you're going to keep doing this, right? I said, well, I'm thinking about it. He said, well, get me 4 more just in case. Now, he at the time is a over 50 player, never broke a stick in front of us in 10 years. He said, but I never want to use another stick, so I want 4 of them. I said, here's a guy who could afford any stick he wants across the land. At that time, $250 a stick to him probably wasn't much of anything if he wanted. And I said, maybe we've got something here. And then as that occurred, we said, okay, what do we think about really doing it? And then a person in St. Louis and a person in Atlanta, a person in Florida, a person in Massachusetts all came to us and said, hey, I heard about these. And I went, okay. And that's what started the launch. I won't even say that was the commitment time, but we said, let's see what happens, but let's go after it a little bit and see how we can do. And that was the start of the website and things like that. So it affected this. I'd like to say, as much as we committed to it, kind of alluded to in the last presentation or last part of the show, was the players committed to it.
Right.
They continued to badger us into more. Here, I told these people, I told these other people. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm really humbled the way this company has grown to every state, every province, 23 total countries, has been players just talking to other players and saying, here's a deal. The other one that, believe it or not, is kind of a compliment is the competition to you, again, alluding earlier, that there's a number of other companies now doing a similar market, bringing the price down, not worrying about the brand name being shown everywhere, but being presented to the players directly. So
right.
It's kind of a nice thing to see that this has become something, not just All Black Hockey Stick, but the market itself has changed just a little bit due to it.
Well, look, in my opinion, and again, you said it, there are other stick companies in the field now that take a similar approach, but you have always been the original innovator in that space to me. And I think anyone who's been in the game, long enough now, we all know your name, right? We all know about All Black Hockey Sticks and the idea behind it. I think the other thing too you said is that, and this is important for people to understand, it's easy for someone to look at your sticks and say, okay, that's a little bit lower on the price and how good are they? But the truth is this, you don't stick around for a decade in a business if your product is bad, right? And again, people are coming to you. And not to mention, you've taken the approach, which I believe to be the best approach, of enabling your fan base, if you will, or your customers to be the ones who support it and promote it. And again, not only has it been around a decade, and again, we're talking about the innovations you've made in a minute, but it's been steady. Right. And it's grown. And it's one of those things where look, I'm as a hockey coach, I've always said this. The player makes the stick. The stick does not make the player. And while there are features to hockey sticks that you may enjoy or features that you may prefer, it is you that makes the stick work. I don't care what you do to a hockey stick, right? At the end of the day, if you don't have the talent behind that stick, it is just a product. It's just a piece of, well, I was going to say lumber, but you can't say that anymore. I want to ask you this, though, too, because there's sides to your business that I don't think a lot of people know that I want to get into. So we know the name All Black Hockey Sticks. It denotes sticks, but it's so much more than that, right? All companies have to evolve to survive. And your products, number one, are extremely no frills. One of the things I've always loved about your company is like that's one of the mandates. In addition to the price point, it's not, we're not going to dress the stick up too much, with the other products you make. It's like, no, this is it, right? It's about good price point and quality. So tell me about how you've gone about innovating that space, and please dive into the other products that you make, because I found them, and I'm going to comment on it when you get into them, to be really great, really high quality, and for the price point. I mean, I don't have to say it's a deal. I mean, it's just a deal.
Right. So the sticks were very simple. Right in the beginning, when we ordered our first set and produced our first set, it was for $3 more, we can put your logo on it. We said, no, it's $3 more. I mean,
Yeah.
it was that simple. Many people across the land at the time had said, well, you can't sell the stick. Everybody wants the frill. Everybody wants the color. The kids will never buy it. And believe it or not, at times the color has been the difference. It's
Right.
been, wow, that's cool. There is no logo. So it's a preference item, but it was really a cost item. We continue to keep the price at $89 from day one. We have had a couple of hits from shipping, but for the most part, our price hasn't changed in that whole time we're there. Right. And the other thing on the consistency side, we haven't changed the level of product either. And by that, I mean, we haven't had to change it, specs, or excuse me, there haven't been any major changes to the stick product as of right now because of that. And it performs well, and it's right in there. And I'll call it mid-range weight today, because at a 420, 440 gram weight, people are getting into those 300s now. So as you mentioned, the development, when we started seeing $350 sticks, we said, okay, we can't stock them currently, but we do have a custom build your own 395 gram stick, 3 for $400 shipped, everything included, to compete with that for the same reason. Not that we don't think anything different about our stick, or your comment of this, the player makes the stick,
Right.
But some players want that lighter weight, and we want to go back to that affordability. $350, it scares me. I would love to say it's a car payment. They've gone up a little bit, but it's pretty darn close.
It's a used car payment. That's
definitely a used car payment.
Yeah, there you go.
And that really gets me every time. We know how much we pay for the sticks. We know virtually how much everybody else pays the sticks, and to charge $350 for that. We do anywhere from a 7-year-old to a 6'5" guy. So we do have different sizing. Absolutely. So we got into some gloves. We found a glove manufacturer who was to work with us. And for $55 shipped, we've got the soft palm 4-roll gloves available.
Right.
Are they the number one glove ever? Compared to the top end? No, they're probably more of a mid-range glove that you can get a very affordable price. I think last I've seen gloves are somewhere in the $180 range. Yeah. Again, $180. Whew, that's a lot to ask somebody to jump in on and for the game. So.
Well, look, I'll come on the gloves, because I use the gloves, right? I still use the gloves. I always tell it to people. I think the real testament is that when the first pair I had needed to be replaced, I bought them again because I enjoyed them so much. That second purchase is a very important purchase, right? Because it says, okay, you've earned my trust. Not obviously, Larry, you've always had my trust, but I want to shout that out, because the gloves, I'd actually, in my opinion, Larry, they're a little bit above the mid range. I really enjoy them. Now, again, it's one of those things where the top range, in terms of durability, might feel more durable, but for the price point you're offering, they feel broken in the second you get them. That's what I want. That's what I want where I'm at, right? I'd rather support you, and I'd rather have those than another one, right? And again, look, it's a no frills type glove, right? It's an all black hockey glove, which is also really cool. You also expanded into just hockey jerseys, which has been a really cool business that you do a lot of customization. I know that for those of you out there, the hockey wraparound adult league teams all use Larry for their jerseys. Again, high quality, they move quick. You can do whatever you want on them. You expand into that realm as well.
Yeah, and I'll give a secret up, because one of the things we do sublimated jerseys, and we do them with a 7-inch all black hockey stick logo for $35 sublimated. That's everything included, names, numbers, the whole shot.
Can't beat that.
Right over your right shoulder, by the way, or left shoulder.
There's one right there. For those of you watching, you can see that is one of them right there. I'm looking at two of them on the wall right now. So we've got them.
And I do get asked why. why are they $35? Well, first of all, one of the things we've always tried to do in the program, going back to the sticks, it wasn't a grow hockey jerseys. It was how do we promote the sticks in a cost-effective manner. If you look around, you can search many, many areas, and you're probably not going to find an all black hockey stick advertisement,
Right.
except on the back of the jerseys.
Right.
So we thought if players are looking for a deal on jerseys and they're willing to advertise all black hockey sticks while they're doing it, we'll bring out a great price jersey, very similar to everybody else in the $55, $65 sublimated range, and we'll use that as our advertising ploy.
Right.
That has begot quite a big following on its own, which has helped us in, of course, the advertising side. And we've done the same thing there. We've been doing that for about 7, almost 8 years now, never raising the price of them as well. Fully sublimated, fully designed. We've got a number of designers who help us get that going. So it's what the players want to make of them. Absolutely.
Right. Well, like I'll say this again, we use them here. I remember the first time I played against a team who I didn't know anybody on the team, and they had them, and the all black hockey sticks ad was on the back. And I remember I had this moment where I went up to one of the players. And I said, "Oh, I know them too." And it was like right before the game. The guy's like, "Yeah, I don't care what I'm about to play a hockey game." It was a really funny moment for me, having known you. But look, you can't beat that price point. The other thing too is, look, I'll say there's other jersey manufacturers out there that will charge so much. I'm on a team right now where, believe it or not, I tried to convince them to go this route, but the person that made the jerseys wanted to go with a much more expensive company. And I'll tell you, like I'll tell you, the jerseys aren't bad in any way, all right? But I didn't want to pay that much for an adult league jersey. That I'm not showcasing myself on a Topps hockey card here, right? Like I just wanted a good jersey. We love our wraparound jerseys with the socks. So it just I just don't think you can beat that deal. And again, you can put whatever you want on them. Like anything you want, anything you can dream of can go on these jerseys.
we did U of I club team
There
one
you
year,
go. Yeah.
and the coach made every player go out and get their own sponsor. So every player came with a sponsor logo.
Right.
So every player's, I'll call it Captain C, was their sponsor, and every one of the sponsors were all in the stripe at the bottom of the jersey.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, it was a little more than we'd like to do going forward, so we don't promote that completely,
Sure.
but it was that level of specific look that the player wanted and the team wanted, so we went for it. So, yeah, it was pretty fun. A lot of work on that for both us and the team. So,
yeah,
but no,
but
we're
that's why
pretty
you do
happy
it.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I alluded to this in the earlier episode too, that there's, like I said, a misconception that all black hockey sticks is just for adult league hockey.
Mhm.
It's not true. I have been to your place. I have seen magazine covers where people are using the sticks. I just wanted you to talk to the audience a little bit about it. Not a brag, but like tell people where the sticks have been used, because these sticks go far beyond your local rink.
I where sticks are paid for, we have been.
There you go.
What I
That's a
mean by
great quote.
that,
Yeah.
it's at the highest level. I've met pro players who are getting sticks today. In fact, I was in Rockford, Michigan, with a pro at the time, and he came up and looked at the sign. He goes, $89, and he picked up the stick. He goes, oh, this is kind of nice. He goes, his weight, the good balance, and he says, what's so big? What's the big deal? I said, well, they're $89, and he says, really? What's the big deal? I said, well, sticks like this are usually $250, $275 right now. He goes, what sticks are that expensive? I said, the ones you play with.
Yeah. All of them. Yeah.
Right. So the story is when you're paying for them, you're paying attention. When you're not, it's different. So we've had a number of alumni pros that are now paying for their own sticks that have come to us. I'm trying to remember if it's a Hall of Famer. In one case, we've made some blade patterns. We don't typically like to go out and make blades, but we've had some ex-pros who've had trouble finding their blade. They couldn't get made anymore, so we're making blades like that to their specific mock-up. We've played in many a different term. The funnest one is a gentleman named Black was the #1 and MVP in Prague for ball hockey.
Wow.
In a USA team. And he was using the all black hockey stick to do it. And this is a few years back. So there's been a number of different levels in a number of different sections of the sport that we've been able to work with. So it's been fun.
Yeah, and look, I've always respected you have somewhat of a no frills approach in addition to the stick, but I
Yeah,
wanted to tell people that because I think a lot of times it's shocking when people hear, wait, these people use the stick. The other thing too is that a lot of the former pros, and this is the kind of a message to the families out there. You know, these guys use wooden sticks or maybe two-piece sticks when they played, right? So
right.
a $89 composite stick to their point of view is like, I can use this. This is great. And it just goes to show you to reinforce it's not the stick, it's the player using the stick, right? So affordability mixed with talent still makes a great hockey player. I think that's a really, really good point to bring up here. A couple more questions, Larry. This is one I love to ask. You've gotten the chance to travel a lot in the world for hockey. What have been your favorite destinations so far?
Oh, I have to say that I've been down in Nashville many a times for a tournament down there, and that's probably the best one. And I say it everywhere we go. There's an ice hockey rink, and
Right.
most of the time I'm standing in the ice hockey rink. Now, I get to go do a little bit of self self time around, but it's the players that I get to meet no matter
Yeah.
where I am. They're all so very similar. From St. Ignace and 200 pond hockey teams running around in 12 inches of snow to Nashville in the heat to Columbus at the charity tournaments where, you know, the tournament and the hockey is all about the charity event, not about the hockey itself.
Right.
It's places are great, but it's people. It's all about the people that I get to go meet. So it doesn't matter if I uh, go to Boston and go to the practice rink and go around there, or like I say, other areas, Tampa and Fort Myers. There, it's the people that I've gotten to meet. I do have to tell one travel story though, especially for the East Coasters. So went to the Boston practice rink and we had a pickup skate there with one of the league guys who runs the league. And I looked at standing there waiting for the learn to skate to get off the ice. And on the ice, they had two really neat things. One were these polar bears where the kids could push to learn to skate. The second ones were penguins. Take a second, think about it.
Yeah.
Boston Bruins
I've seen them.
practice facility. They're pushing around penguins.
Yeah.
Next day, I think it was McQuaid, 54.
Yeah, he played there.
And I asked him, why? Why are there penguins in your organization's facility? And he kind of stuttered a little bit and looked at me like, are you kidding me? I was like, yeah, they're out there. So fun little stories like that. But the things like that are even more important than the places I've been able to go or places around that I've been able to travel. But great times. Great
No,
times.
it's true. You know, the Penguins are pretty popular for like learning to skate, but there's some cities like I've never seen one in Philadelphia ever. I can tell you that right now. We've got walkers, we've got a lot of different types of things out there. I've never
Yeah,
seen a Penguins walker here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, for obvious reasons. But
yeah, I agree. I
Larry,
agree.
this has been a great interview. Anything else you want to share with the audience before we part?
You know, that's I I've got a ton of stories as we know.
Oh, I
We've
know you do. We could
we've
do a whole show on those.
my thing is I go back again. Last thing to say is the people. You know, the where they are, where I run into people. I was on a plane the other day flying back from Wisconsin, and there was a Green Bay gamblers
Yeah.
jacket on one of the people, and I happened to mention it was him, his son, and his wife, I believe, in all in this in row. And at the end of the flight, I didn't want to yell in the middle of it. I asked the wife, I said, hey, what's he got to do with it? He goes, well, he's the color announcer. Oh, that's really cool. And she said, well, why? Real loud. And they all turned around at the same time. And I said, well, I sell hockey sticks. And she goes, really? What brand? I go, all black hockey sticks. And the son turned and looked. He goes, oh, friends of mine had those. They're cool. And I'm like, how do you know? So it's that type of thing that has been so humbling for us. And I use that word way too often, but it really is.
Oh, yeah.
So many people around the country have gotten to know us and spread the word. And really the last thing I'll say is thank you. Thank you for what you have all done for us in progressing this program, because that's what it's done. That's how it's gotten here. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
I love it. And I'll say this too, that and again, we've been around similar times, right? About a decade plus. There's a lot of cool feelings in the hockey world, like when you get to show someone the product the first time and they find it really cool. But it is really special when someone comes up to you and go, "I know that. I love that. I know that brand. I love that brand." And it's like, "Yeah, that's us. That's you." Like, yeah, no, we did that. And it's even cooler when you can dive in the conversation, because one of the things about being a business owner is you have to kind of understand quickly the consumer has every right not to care about your story, right? Their goal is to get a quality product, and that is the main goal, and that is why they're investing any kind of dollar amount into your product. But when you get the opportunity and someone really does want to know, and generally wants to know, and you can tell them, like,
Right.
man, let me tell you about my team. Let me tell you about the process. Let me tell you about how I was dared to do this. And I started a hockey stick company. It's a really cool moment, and that's I'm with you on the thank you, right? Because it is the people that get us to do what we do, right? And it's one of the reasons I want to do this show, is because the big box brands who are out there and they do what they do, there's no story there, right? Like, there's plenty of independent and family owned businesses like yourselves that have a story to share. And I actually do think people want to hear them, right? But it's one of those things of, like, we make the show, you can choose to listen to it. But I think people
Right.
do want to hear it. I think that's been reflected in our audience, which has been growing every single week. So Larry O, All Black Hockey Sticks, make sure you check them out. Allblackhockeysticks.com. Not hard to miss this one, right? I mean, easy to find this one. Just
Yes.
Hockey Jerseys is another one. At
Mhm.
minimum, take a look. I'll also throw this out there too, that if you have a youngin in the game, you do not need to buy a very expensive stick for your young youth hockey player. These sticks are perfect. They are perfect for someone just starting out. Okay, they're perfect for adult league too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying that is that you especially at the younger ages where they need to develop the mechanics of a shot, of a pass, of skating with this stick. It is the perfect option, all black hockey sticks for you. So, and like you said, you could buy 5 and size them over the years pretty
Right.
easily,
Right.
right? Which is what I did for my kids, right? We have the all black hockey sticks stacked up at the house as they've gotten taller, and they're so good. I mean, some of them have come hand me downs to my daughter, which is that's saying something too. All right,
Right.
they're both left handed now. Anyway, Larry O of All Black Hockey Sticks, Just Hockey Jerseys. Can't thank you enough for being here on the Wraparound Roundtable Extended Edition. Make sure you head over to hockeywraparound.com to see whatever giveaways we're doing whenever you listen to this episode, and enter into those. And thank you for listening. I'm Lee Elias. That's Larry O. We'll see you on the next Hockey Wraparound Roundtable. Take care, everybody.